This is Megan from Feeling a Little Bookish, and today I'm here to bring you my Top 10 Tuesday. Usually I do this through a series of pictures, and if you still want to see the pictures, I'll post something at the bottom if you don't want to sit through the entire video, but for now I am going to film a video with my top 10 books that I have recently acquired. Now this is July, and July is my birthday month, and it's actually today. And I have received quite a few gift cards and shopped for quite a few with my gift cards. End of June is also the end of school, and so I get quite a few gift cards for teaching at that point in time. So I have acquired quite a few books, and I am going to have to just show you the top 10 that I guess I'm most excited about, is what I picked out of all my pile, because I can't remember when or like in what order I got any of these books. So without further ado, here is my top 10 books that I have just acquired. So number 10. Number 10 is the book that I am currently reading, and that is Orphan Number Black by Kim Van Alchemy. This just came out, and I picked it up as soon as possible. I actually received a review copy for this through Edelweiss, and oops, I'm the worst at downloading all of the books on Edelweiss and then not having a chance to finish them all before they expire. So I figured since I didn't get a chance to read and review the e-galley that I had, I should probably maybe support the author and buy the book. So this book is about a girl named Rachel, and it's set in 1919 and also later on in her life. So it's two different timelines. So when she's young and when she's old. So when she's young, she's orphaned and she's sent to an orphanage. And in this orphanage, they perform experiments on the kids, and the kids are all Jewish, I should mention. So they're performing all these different kinds of experiments on these children, including Rachel, which is shocking to me. And this actually happened. There's a bit in the back with actual pictures in it of some of these places. And so it's explaining what's happening when Rachel's young, but it's also explaining what happens when she's older and she's working in an old age home, and one of the doctors who performed the experiments on her comes into her care. So does she take care of this woman, or does she forgive her, or does she have some sort of revenge on her? Because it would be probably very easy if the woman's elderly. So that's this one. I'm not super far into this, but so far it's pretty good. So that's number 10. Number 9, we have The Fisherman by Chigozie Obioma. I'm not sure how to say that last name. This is set in Nigeria, and it's about 4 brothers who decide to skip school when their parents are out of town, and they go fishing. And while they're there, some mad person comes and tells them that the oldest brother is going to be killed by one of his siblings, and it's kind of the fallout of what happens after this. I got this through Book Riot's summer book, Beach Reads, I guess, or whatever. I think it was called Beach Reads. So they sent 4 books and some other little things, and this is one of the books that came in. And they've talked about this book on Book Riot quite a lot, and it falls into the diverse books category. So I'm excited to start reading this one. Number 8. I can't count clearly. Which fingers? How many? Number 8, we have We Are Not Ourselves by Matthew Thomas. I just bought this one today with some of my gift cards, and this book has been on my radar for a while, but I hesitate to buy some of these books because they're super expensive. In Canada, this is $21. In the States, it's $16. Like, I don't understand the difference. There is an exchange rate. I understand that, but when our money was higher than the US dollar, it didn't change any of the money on the back of this book. Anyhow, that's kind of a bit of a rant. So this book is about a woman who grows up she's born in the 40s, and she grows up with Irish alcoholic parents. So her home life is pretty tumultuous. And when she grows older, she hopes to marry and better her life and her station in life. So I guess marrying up would be the term for that. And unfortunately, the person that she picks for this, or who she falls in love with, it's not working out in terms of trying to better her station in life, and she's kind of disappointed, and it's kind of the fallout from that. Number 7, we have another book from the Book Riot box, and this is Maggie O'Farrell's Instructions for a Heat Wave. This book is kind of reminiscent of Where I Leave You. I think it's by Jonathan Tropper. I could be wrong. There was a movie just made of it, but it's set in the 70s, and this woman, her husband clears out her bank account and just kind of takes off. He's gone. And so she calls back all her adult children to the house, and each of these adult children have various different situations and problems going on, and they're all trying to deal with that together, and also keep secrets. So things kind of just blow up in this book. Number 6, we have When the Moon is Low by Nadia Hashimi. She wrote The Pearl That Broke Its Shell. I haven't read that one at all, but this one was 40% off at Chapters, so that took precedence. And what this is about, it's about a woman who is in an arranged marriage. She's falling in love with her husband. Things are great. She's got 3 kids. And the Taliban comes into power, and she needs to flee because her family's become the subject of some persecution. So she's fleeing to London, and on her way, she gets separated from her son. So she has her 2 daughters, but her son is gone. So as she travels, she's hoping to reunite with her son, and I believe this is perhaps told in 2 points of view, one with the mom and one with the son. I could be wrong. But again, another diverse book. So yay. 1, 2, 3, 6, sorry. So we're on to number 5, and this is a book that I have already read. I picked this up as soon as it came out. It's called Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. She wrote After I Do, which I loved, and Forever Interrupted, which I also really liked. And this book did not disappoint either. It's about a woman. It follows 2 different storylines, but the main character is the same. So there's a main event, and her life could have gone in 2 different directions. And this is a what if scenario. So if she went one way, it tells the story of what would happen. If she decided something differently, it tells the story of what would happen. And it's really interesting how certain things or elements stay the same, but other main things are completely different in her life. And it's how she deals with these things that she gets given in life. It's amazing. If you have not read Taylor Jenkins Reid, you need to go out and get one of her 3 books. They're amazing. Number 4 is another one of my favorite authors, Marian Keyes. It's The Woman Who Stole My Life. I've been eyeing this for a while, but this book is humongous. I feel like this is going to be really awkward to read. If you look, this is a normal trade paperback, and this is, I don't know what kind of paperback this is, but it's huge. Regardless, besides the point, I read all of her books. I'm 2 books behind, so this one and another one, but I bought it anyways. And this is about a woman who's in Dublin, and she stops her car to do a good deed, and in the process her car gets smashed, and she meets the owner of that car, and it's a young gentleman, and they exchange numbers for insurance purposes, and her life kind of gets thrown upside down. She's married, so I'm assuming that might mean that there's a potential for cheating, or she's tempted to cheat, or maybe she does. I don't know what exactly happens. I haven't read it yet, but sounds interesting. Number 3 is another book that I have read already, and it's A Walk Across the Sun by Corbin Addison. This book's a little heavy. It's about human trafficking, so it follows 2 different people's lives. One is a man in the States who, for one reason or another, needs to leave his job and decides to work in a nonprofit in India that helps people who've been affected by human trafficking, but it also follows the story of 2 young girls who are left orphaned because of a tsunami, and they're trying to make their way to their school, and they get kidnapped and sold into prostitution. One of the sisters get separated, and one sister she gets sold for various different reasons. And what I like about that is that you can kind of see human trafficking is not just about prostitution. There is a lot of that, but it could be about anything from being in-home maid/slave. It could be a drug mule. It could be various different things, and it's disturbing. But but it's so well written, and it brings awareness to something that people just don't. I mean, nobody really likes to think about it, but it's something that happens still in Canada, in the States, overseas. It's not just in third world countries that this kind of crap is happening. So if you get a chance to pick this up, you should. Number 2 is Racing Savannah by Miranda Keneally. Now this is a YA contemporary romance. It's in her I don't remember the name of the series, but they're all companion novels. And I've read the first 2 and I've borrowed the others. This was the only one that I didn't have, and I wanted to be able to read them in order. Because I know sometimes with companion novels, you can read them as standalones, but different characters make cameos in different books, and I kind of want to be able to get the whole experience. This is essentially about Savannah and a boy named Jack, and it's set in stables. So she likes to horseback ride. It's a YA contemporary romance. I'm sure you know it's gonna probably. I know it's probably gonna happen by the end of this book, but you read them because they're fun. And number 1 is a bit of a cheat. I couldn't narrow it down, and so I have 2 books for number 1 because they're both by the same author, so I feel like I can do that, and it's my channel and my blog, so I can do whatever I want. So this one is The Archive by Victoria Schwab. This is for my book club this month, and it's a YA, I guess, fantasy. It's about, essentially the premise behind this is that once you die, you go into an archive. Your body goes into an archive, like a library, and the dead people are called history, so they keep your history, and apparently you can come back to life. I don't know how. I'm sure I will find out when I read this book. There are people called keepers to make sure that that doesn't happen, and there are also people called librarians who can read the different histories of the people that are dead. So it sounds interesting. I've been told that it's very good. I just finished Vicious, and that was really well done. It's an adult novel, but it's super good. Got a bit of YA crossover appeal. So I'm excited for this. And also because I like Vicious and because my friends told me to, or pretty much forced me to get this book, mostly Kim, this is your fault. I got A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, which is Victoria Schwab. And this is essentially about parallel universes. So it's set in London, but different Londons. And they're all differentiated by colors. So there's a red London, a black London, a gray London. And there's a guy who can go through these different parallel universes and charges a fee to bring people with him so that they can experience that as well. And I'm sure nothing good can come of that. And I'm sure this is all about the shenanigans that ensue afterwards. And that's it. This is by no means all the books that I've acquired in the last little while. It's a little bit ridiculous. I have a problem. But I feel justified in this problem, and I feel like all the rest of this book blogging community helps me and enables me to do this. So here's to you. So that's it. That's my Top 10 Tuesday. And thank you for watching, and thank you for popping by the blog. And if you didn't finish this to the end, that's fine. All the pictures are at the bottom. And happy reading.